you back? It's time to add the Discoloration Correction Serum from Good Molecules to your skincare routine. The Discoloration Correction Serum fades the appearance of dark spots and hyperpigmentation, leaving you more confident with a brighter and even skin tone. And the best part? It's cruelty-free, fragrance-free, and only $12. Head over to Ulta Beauty or Target to pick up yours, or order on Amazon Prime and start seeing a difference in your skin today. Good Molecules.
It's the Blue and Gold Postgame Show here. Thank you for joining us on the A&T Athletics Facebook page. And you talk about avenging a loss from 2019. That's exactly what Trey Oliver and these Eagles did. 66-24, the Eagles with the victory. With Al Swann and Billy Covington, Donal Ware with you here. And guys, as I mentioned during the broadcast, we've been doing this together, the three of us, for 9 years. And I can't remember. First of all, A&T's never had 66 hung on it since we've been doing it.
Right.
But it's just the way that the Eagles did it in this rivalry.
Well, as the old saying goes down, some days you're the windshield, some days you're the bug. So it was one of those nights, man, where we were just the bugs. I mean, it was tough. They were, as we said earlier, Central had us scouted well. They were well prepared. They executed well, and that's a tough combination to beat. And we were not able to generate any offense in terms of running the football or, putting points on the board. So it was a tough night. It's just a tough night.
You can put your comment in the chat here on the Blue and Gold Postgame Show. ODB says this was bad, very bad. Janelle says, good evening. Good evening, Janelle. Daryl says this was a letdown performance from A&T, and I think that's fair because you're expecting. All of us thought this would be a close game.
I thought.
Yeah, and then when you say Kenji Christian's playing, that's a plus because you have had a non-existent running game for the last game and a half, and he gets hurt, and A&T gets that opening possession kickoff return for the touchdown, another field goal to take another lead, and then it just went downhill from there.
I thought it was very important the way Central responded after that opening kickoff return. They came right down the field and, of course, scored a touchdown of their own and completed the extra point for a temporary 7-6 lead. But it's just one of those nights, man. It was tough. It was just really tough, and all you can do, I was glad to see the coaches, good sportsmanship. They walked to the middle of the field and shook hands, and all you can say is good game. I'll see you down the road, and that's about all you can do.
Yeah, let's see. We have some more comments. Daryl says Central had their way with us all night long. Yep. Timothy says, well, our special team did not help us out tonight. Yep. Tanya says embarrassing loss. Yes. Yep. John says he doesn't even have anything to say, never experienced anything like this before. I mean, this is sort of what we were saying too. William says we are too small and too slow. Anwar says we don't have the talent or the coaching.
Wow.
Yes, that's tough. I mean, it's a rivalry game. Clearly, the Eagles came to play. They were ready to play. They were more ready to play than A&T. I don't think there's any question about that. And again, it's I'm trying to tell you guys, Trey Oliver did not forget.
Yep.
45-0 back on this field in 2019 in his first year as head coach.
Well, we mentioned before the game that one of the keys that Aggies had to play with some degree of urgency, and we just didn't see that tonight. But we saw it on the part of Central. I mean, they came to play, and they did a great job of scouting A&T. They put together just a masterful game plan, and they carried it out. And, what more can you say? If you're A&T, you go back to the drawing board. They got a tough game next week. We got to go down to Orangeburg. That's not going to be easy. So, you just got to answer the bell. You got to come back.
Hey, we read the comments, all right? So Janelle says, and here we go, and here we are again. I know this is going to sound ugly, but the whole staff needs to go. We once again look terrible on both sides of the ball. The coach does not care about winning. I don't think that's true. I'm tired of it. They had all offseason to prepare, and they look terrible. The staff did not recruit and use the transfer portal. It is unacceptable and inexcusable.
Well, I'll agree to the fact that we still need to get bigger on the defensive line because those were really big holes in which North Carolina Central gained all of the yards in which they did on the ground. We were unable to get to the quarterback. He just had a field day when he had time to look at his receivers and pick who he had to throw the ball to. I don't know what the actual time is that a quarterback has, Al, but he had plenty of time to find the receivers that he needed to find. Our secondary took a big hit today on crossing patterns, and we really need to tighten up on that. But it was the mental mistakes that put us in bad shape. Not fair catching the ball that was going in the end, should have gone in the end zone, but we fair caught the ball and started to drive on the 4-yard line. It's just things that we just need to really tighten up on and give ourselves a better chance to play. Because you make mistakes, I don't know how many turnovers we had today, but if you make mistakes against a team subject like North Carolina Central, it's going to be difficult for you to come up with a win.
Let's see, Darius says the defense, what happened, no fire at all on both sides of the ball. Janelle says still don't have a definitive quarterback. David says this was unacceptable. Timothy says the struggle with WSSU was the sign of how this season is going to be. We are hurrying. It's going to be a long season. And, but now, you lose to your rivals. Score is what it is, 66-24. You got to turn the page quickly.
Yes.
Because you got 2 more games on the road.
And
it begins next week in Orangeburg at South Carolina
State. That's important. You're right, Donal. You don't have time to feel sorry for yourself. You just don't. Because we got to go a week from today. We're going to be in Orangeburg, South Carolina, against the Bulldogs of South Carolina State. Then we turn around, not looking past that game, and we got a tough CAA opponent in Richmond, up at Richmond. And so you just don't have time to feel sorry for yourself. You just got to go back, try to improve in areas that need improvement, and just do the best you can. I mean, that's all you can do.
Well, look, go ahead, Billy.
One concern, is your quarterback situation now. We lost Mr. White, and he had a sling on early there. It was second quarter, Al.
Yeah.
And then Kwame came in, and he got hurt. Then the backup, the third string quarterback, came on and took a bad hit on a play. And so we really need to go, and we're getting to become a mass unit. After the 53-yard run by Kendrick Christian, we didn't see too much more of him. We didn't see a lot of William Graves. So we're suffering from a mass unit now, and you got to have the athletes to put them on the field. It's just as simple as that. So, maybe we can get them fixed up so they'll be available to play next Saturday on a tough road trip.
It's tough. It's going to be tough down in Orangeburg.
Yeah.
They have a very good team down there. And, everybody, every MEAC opponent that we play, they're waiting on us. I mean, that's just a factual statement. I mean, that they really want to beat A&T. And we saw an example of that tonight. We saw almost example of that when Winston-Salem came to town a couple of weeks ago. And don't you think Orangeburg, the Bulldogs of South Carolina State, they're going to see this score, 66-24. And, they're going to be hardened by this. And we can do the same thing. So it's up to A&T and the coaching staff to get these guys up. As I said before, you don't have time to feel sorry for yourself in this game of football. You got to play every week, and that's just the way it is. And so one of the positive things is that the Aggies never give up. You can accuse them of a lot of things, but you can't ever accuse them of giving up. They really play hard on every play, regardless of what the score is. And so now go back to the drawing board, figure out what you got to do, and hopefully you can get it done.
Look, we appreciate everyone that was in the chat today. We've got to get ready to wrap this up. We had a lot of people chat. We thank you for that. We want you to continue to watch. It's late. We got to get up the road. I am going to give the last word to Hans, who says, greetings from Indianapolis, Indiana. What must happen quick, fast, and in a hurry? We must reorganize with the recruiting battle in our backyard and do something different offensively. So I'm going to give Hans the last word. Again, we appreciate everyone in the chat. But look, we got to get ready to get out of here. We got to go, because not only we got to prepare next week for Orangeburg, another road trip, and it's going to be the second of a 3-game road trip. One final note: North Carolina Central racked up 508 yards of total offense. That means back-to-back weeks. A&T has given up in excess of 500 yards of total offense, while A&T managed to have 327 yards of total offense. Our next broadcast of A&T football is going to take place on next Saturday. We're going to be in Orangeburg. It's a 6 p.m. kickoff, and we're coming on with the pregame show at 5:30 on the Aggie Sports Radio Network. Thank you to Des back at the studios of the Aggie Sports Radio Network for all of his great work. For Al Swann, Billy Covington, Donal Ware saying so long for now from O'Kelly Riddick Stadium on the campus of North Carolina Central here in Durham. Your final score, North Carolina Central 66, A&T 24. You've been listening to Aggie Football on the Aggie Sports Radio Network.